Well, if you're struggling to get out of bed in the morning and feeling drained of energy, it might not just be the weather. It could be the corona hangover, a name being used for those of us who are struggling with the prolonged impact of this pandemic on our mental health. Let's bring in psychologist Dr. Marnie Lishman now. Hi, Marnie.
Hi, Lou.
It's an amusing name, but the corona hangover isn't really a laughing matter, is it?
Oh, no. I mean, it's totally relatable when we think of what hangovers actually do to us. So in the moment, we might just get on with it and we're okay and we're pushing through. But the next day, when things are seemingly back to normal, we feel totally exhausted and almost wary of what's to come. And I think that's what's happening now for lots of people who've had their kind of fight or flight response going on because they've been so stressed for many months. But they did just simply get on with it because we kind of had to. But now feeling very emotionally exhausted as a result of being go, 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 not only physically but in their minds. So a lot of people have been worrying for a very long time, and now, particularly in WA, when we're told we can kind of get on back to what it was, I think we're all a little bit wary that something could happen in the future, and a lot of avoidance behaviours as well.
Yeah.
Very tiring.
Especially with what we're seeing happening in Victoria.
For sure.
What are the impacts of prolonged stress on our systems?
Well, when we're stressed out for a long period of time, our brain turns on the fight or flight response. So it's almost like we're running from a real threat. We're running from a lion. So that causes a tremendous amount of psychological problems if it's every day. So we can be very agitated, we can worry a lot, we can be disconnected from the people around us. We might want to withdraw from the people around us as well. You'll find that we can't problem solve well, we're not as productive, we don't perform well, we can't make effective decisions. So psychologically, it really wears us down, and often psychologically, if we're not looking after ourselves and we're impacted, it does flow onto physical health conditions as well, things like cardiovascular disease and cancers and things like that. So we have to be very careful of prolonged chronic stress.
Okay, we know obviously, as you said, we are lucky here in Perth. A lot of things are going back to normal, but the video calls seem to be here to stay. Why are they so exhausting, Marnie?
Oh, they're so exhausting, aren't they? I mean, there's so much going on in video calls. So we're wired as human beings to connect with people in a physical way. So they're supposed to be there in person. But when we're totally concentrating on someone on the other side of the screen, there's so much going on almost non-verbally that we can't get right. So we're just trying to concentrate on their words. But we're usually looking at people's body language, aren't we, and what their hands are doing and all those other cues. But our brain is doing so much to make sense of what's going on. And then we're doing it repeatedly throughout the day. So we know screen time's not very good, but dealing with people on the other end of screen time, yeah, it's not natural, and our brains are really struggling. So much is going on that is becoming very exhausting for that as well.
Yeah, that's so true. It's not natural. Just
No.
quickly, what are your top tips for emotional and mental well-being, especially at the moment?
Yeah, I think it comes down to two main areas, and that is self-care. So knowing yourself well and knowing when you're too overwhelmed and you're just not yourself. And that might mean going and getting some sort of support from your family and friends and connecting with them on purpose. It could mean anything from physical activity to making sure you eat the right foods and making sure you sleep a lot. Because if you're exhausted, your body is telling you something, rest. And then support, of course. If it's all too much for you, make sure you reach out to the right professionals and get the right tools and techniques to manage your wellbeing right now to get you back on track.
Yeah, important advice. Dr. Marnie Lishman, thank you.
Great, thank you.